Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. You know, it always seems impossible that a cryptocurrency, after it's been trading sideways and or down for prolonged periods of times, it always seems impossible that it's ever gonna go on a parabolic moonshot rise ever again. Is XRP ever even gonna hit its freaking all-time high? It's been over 4 years since it hit its last all-time high near $4. It was January 4th, 2018. Is that ever going to happen? It just seems impossible to people, right? Yeah, well, it seems impossible until suddenly, out of nowhere, it just happens. Many times inexplicably, because in a bull market, things happen really, really fast. So I want to share with you some comments. I got a couple thoughts from a couple chart analysts having to do with short-term expectations and a thought on XRP and the idea that $8+ is practically inevitable at this point. Now, nothing's literally guaranteed in investing. Don't take that wrong. I'm not saying there's not risk associated in XRP or any cryptocurrency. Of course there is. But there's one analyst in particular who's saying, yeah, when XRP hits $8+, you know. And I'll share with you the exact context of what's being said there. And also, I've got a story. I'm going to share with you just part of it. But more and more monies pouring into crypto from hedge funds jumping into the asset class for the first time in many cases. And it's just interesting because there's part of an article that highlights these cryptocurrency hedge funds now are arms of the firms that are delving into cryptocurrency in some cases. They are afraid to short crypto markets. Now, why might that be? So I've got an article on that, and also there's a well-known author in the world of crypto who writes for, I believe it was Bloomberg. I'll pull up the article in a second. It was covered within the Daily Hodl article, actually, but it was speaking about a Bloomberg author. I think that was the guy anyway. But anyway, this guy, he's speculating on when the crypto asset class is actually going to break away from equities, because as you may well know, just follow where stocks are going, and that's what crypto does. Not down to the second, a minute, of the day, of the week, so on and so forth, but zoom out on a chart. And when you look at what the big moves happen with equities, well, crypto invariably follows. You know, one of the most obvious instances of this is if you look back to March of 2020 when the pandemic hit. Stocks tanked, Bitcoin followed along with the rest of the crypto asset class. Well, is it always going to be like that? Well, it has been to this point. We got 13 years worth of data saying, yeah, pretty much it has been. But will it always be like that? Well, there's some actual data, according to this individual, showing that it's starting to look a little bit different. Now, mind you, I've seen umpteen million stories and theories postulating that various small movements over the last several years that I've been in the space have been indications that crypto markets, you know, breaking away from anything else, no longer going to correlate. And I just like, okay, it's one move in the short term, but you know, at some point, I could buy into the theory that the asset class is going to be treated a little bit differently. I think it's a reasonable speculation that with crypto being in its nascency, people don't know what the hell to make of it, and so it just happens to be following stocks. And there's a reason that the entire crypto asset class moves in tandem, all the altcoins following Bitcoin. So anyway, plenty to discuss, but I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind, not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. Just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. I think this is a timely video, the topic, because I think it's positive and encouraging. Like, honestly, I feel nothing but optimism for the long-term viability of the crypto asset class, and certainly XRP, which is my largest holding. But the reason I say that is because crypto market's not looking so hot at this exact moment. Things heading down at the time that I'm recording this, which is what? 11:46 p.m. Central Standard Time on March 9th, 2022. XRP's at 73 cents. Bitcoin back below 40,000. Womp womp. It's at $39,240. Market cap for the asset class, 2.76 trillion. Bitcoin dominance at 42.18%. If you look at the screen, you can see here's a 7-day chart for Bitcoin. You can see where I'm, if you're looking at your screen anyway, you can see where I'm circling, where we had the most recent run up yesterday evening. When did that happen? Well, it happened as soon as, I think the timing actually lined up for when, excuse me, when Janet Yellen's comments regarding the Biden executive order, when those comments leaked last night. For those of you that don't know, Janet Yellen's comments, they did leak a day prior. Somebody messed up on her team and posted a day prior, and it was even labeled March 9th, which is today. but it was yesterday, March 8th. Well, as soon as that came out and those comments didn't look terribly bad, that was the first taste of what we were going to get about the executive order. Crypto markets started responding positive immediately, so it does look like that was the catalyst for the run-up, sent Bitcoin as high as $42,415. But what comes up must come down, and we're now, especially within the last couple hours, Bitcoin tanking and crypto markets just, our altcoins, specifically altcoin markets, following pretty well in tandem. So back down to about where we were before a little over 24 hours ago when the first pop happened. But hey, easy come, easy go. Welcome to crypto, everybody. But that's part of the reason I kind of want to share this message too, in case anybody's concerned. Like, again, hedge funds don't get scared about this stuff. The big money doesn't get scared about this stuff. Like, there's no sign in the world that I can see that all of this is just like altcoins are just going to suddenly go to zero and we're no longer going to have a crypto asset class. But so many retail speculators are so fearful that the logic of it doesn't seem to register. Here's the Crypto Fear and Greed Index at 28 out of 100, indicating that market speculators in general are fearful, up from 22 out of 100 yesterday. Now, given that within the last couple hours in particular, crypto has been tanking, wait till this thing updates, because it only updates once every 24 hours at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. If we don't see some more positive price action in the meantime, that number is going to be a bit lower. I would be willing to speculate. Now, take a look at this from chart analyst Leb Crypto, who wrote the following. Hidden bullish divergence on the monthly chart at 3 touch points over 1 year. Here, I can make this full screen. This is what he's talking about here. And then he said the following. This is why XRP rips so strong, so fast. When XRP eventually does rally hard to $8 and beyond, make sure to take profits as it's going up. It'll definitely come back down very fast. And I do think that's correct. I'm wondering, as Bitcoin, or not Bitcoin, as XRP gets up to some of those higher levels, say it is $8 or $10 or $12 or $15, who's going to be calling that market cycle for XRP to go to $50 or $100? I'm sure there will be some people saying it. I don't think that's particularly reasonable. We'll see. I mean, I'm not making an actual price prediction. It's just that the higher your prediction is, the more I'm like, a little less confident. With every dollar up that you predict, I'm like, a little less confident. You start getting up to that type of range. I'm not saying it can't ever get there, but this market cycle, whew, that's a tall order, my friends. And so I will be selling personal on the way up, and I'll be happy to share as I'm selling on the way up and what percentage of my XRP holdings I'm selling. I'm not going to say the total amount that I'm selling. I'd rather keep that private. I probably always will keep that private, but happy to share the percentage at least. And because here's the thing, I'm not worried about selling the top. I'm really seriously not. I think this is all going to happen very quickly. When XRP had its last most epic run, when it ran up to almost $4, it happened over the span of about 2.5 weeks. So I'm not worried about. I'm worried about selling on the way to the top. And if I accidentally overshoot and I go a little over the top and I don't, you won't know when it's happening for sure. Overshoot that and then goes back down to, okay, fine. If I sell a little bit on the other side, if it's starting to go back down, I can live with that too. I'm hoping to not overshoot. I'd rather sell a little bit soon and just have my peace of mind. So we'll see. But I'm hoping to sell, if not all of it, then certainly most of my XRP. Kind of depends on how high it goes. But I'm thinking if you're starting to talk about it getting up to $10, $12, my gosh, that's looking pretty appealing to me personally. And when I'm factoring in everything else of my overall financial goals and everything else that I own that makes up my net worth, it starts to sound appealing for me. And for some, it wouldn't. And it has nothing to do necessarily, or at least not entirely to do with how much XRP I personally hold. So you can try and kind of guess what I have, but you don't know. Because there are other moving parts in my considerations of all this. It doesn't mean that I have a ton. Maybe you have more than me. Maybe I have more than you. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. But yes, suffice it to say, I'll be selling on the way up. And I think a lot of people are going to make a mistake of just thinking it's just going to keep going up and going up and going up, and then you're not going to realize profits. And there will be people buying on the way up on top of that. And to me, that's just that's even worse. I've seen it so many times in crypto with all sorts of, it's not unique to XRP. I've seen that so many times. But when it comes back down, it's going to come back down potentially as quickly as it went up. That's just what we see in crypto markets. So is what it is. But that's not bad. I mean, it's worth talking just so we can kind of mentally prepare ourselves for what may come. But to me, that's exciting. Fine, acknowledging that it's going to come back down. Yeah, it's crypto, so what? But it's exciting to recognize that if crypto markets keep going up, everything's just moving in tandem anyway. Why the hell wouldn't that happen eventually? So you know what I'm betting on? I'm betting on us hitting a new all-time high and entering price discovery. And Lub Crypto certainly agrees. And he's anticipating at least $10, I believe is what he has stated, more like 20 to 30 bucks, which is rather similar to what Credible Crypto has. I'm going to pull up something for him in just a second here, but folks, it seems impossible until suddenly it just doesn't seem impossible anymore, which is why I retweeted that from Lub Crypto and I wrote the following. In crypto, price levels like this, $8 XRP, seem impossible. That is, until they one day happen out of nowhere. Historically, price action in crypto happens fast. Either you have exposure beforehand, or you don't. Patience is the name of the game as far as I'm concerned. So to all these people that don't understand what it is to take the long-term approach and saying, yeah, but you could have made X amount if you had just told this or that or these other cryptocurrencies, and I'm like, yeah, but you didn't know for sure those were going to pop off. You don't know that. You don't know a damn thing. I just know that the market moves in tandem. So I'm going to sit here patiently, and I want to make sure I have my exposure because I think it's more likely than not going to be the case that XRP will hit a new all-time high at some unknown point in the future and enter price discovery. That's it. That's my bet. I've had that same bet for over 4 years. That's it. This takes a long time. I've always been thinking long-term on this stuff. And then there was this from a Credible Crypto. And he put this out just, an hour and a half ago. This is 10:19 p.m. Yes, or something like that. 10:19 p.m. tonight. And he wrote the following. And there's a chart on your screen for those that are looking. How many people do you think sold below $40,000 and are waiting for lower to get back in? Flip $42,500 to support, and we squeezed to $52,000 for Bitcoin. So again, Bitcoin's a little below $40,000 at the time that I'm recording this, and he's talking about this range right here where I'm circling, this green bar right here. If that holds, he's expecting a bounce potentially up to that $42,500 level, which we saw literally today. And if that's support, then he's thinking, yep, back above over $50,000. And he's been anticipating that we eventually get back up to that level anyway, but that's just what he's seeing in the charts right now. Then I came across this article, Wall Street Journal article, titled Mainstream Hedge Funds Pour Billions of Dollars into Crypto. And I came across this thanks to Plan B, who is most famous in the world of crypto for having applied the stock to flow model to crypto. And he shared this with his 1.7 million followers. And he simply wrote, "To all weekend sellers, thank you for your contribution," which I think is kind of funny. You've done your part. Thank you for providing your participation and liquidity, I suppose. But these types of people that are, weekend sellers, whale swoop in typically and they'll buy up the fear. And then when these same types of people FOMO in as, XRP or whatever, is taken off. So let's say XRP is hitting $10. There's going to be somebody buying it there. There's somebody on the other side of that because they'll feel confidence because the market's moving up right in that moment. Doesn't make logical sense necessarily, but that's what they're doing. That's how people behave historically in crypto. And they'll be our exit liquidity. They're going to be my exit liquidity. They can buy from me then. They can't buy my XRP now because I'm not ready to sell at these levels, but they can buy it then, and they will. Just like nobody wanted Bitcoin when it was $3,200 in the middle of December 2018. But I'll tell you what, as it was running up to $70,000, no shortage of people that wanted it then. It's not like the fundamentals of Bitcoin changed. Anyway, take a look at this, though. I want to cover just one part of this. The beginning of part of the article, it's on your screen right now. They're just talking about various hedge funds dumping money, and I've seen a bunch of articles like this, which I do find interesting. It's good to see these types of stories, adoption of crypto. But here's the part that I wanted to highlight. More funds see crypto as a fifth asset class, in addition to stocks, bonds, currencies, and commodities, says Robert Bogucki, or Bogucki, I don't know, a co-head of global trading at Galaxy Digital Holdings, Ltd., an early crypto investor. It's big enough now, and that's a quote, it's big enough now. Now, Galaxy, launched by Michael Novogratz, a former senior executive at Goldman Sachs Group Inc. and Fortress Investment Group, now manages about $3 billion. Now, and this is the part that I found truly interesting. Check this out. One difference from stock trading: most hedge funds are avoiding shorting cryptocurrencies, says Mr. Bogucki, worried that these currencies might shoot up in price, leading to quick and big losses. There you go. So the smart money out there, the big money, they don't want to short this stuff. They recognize that when things happen, they happen quickly. So you can get impatient and be like, oh, I've been holding so-and-so for so long. Is it ever just gonna go? And I get it. And so I can't tell you to buy or sell or hold. You do whatever you want to do. My conviction has never been stronger. I'm not wavering on this. My bet is my bet. I firmly believe that I'm right. And that's why I can only sleep easily at night, because I have this exposure to the crypto asset class. If I didn't have the exposure to the crypto asset class, specifically with XRP that I have, then I would not be sleeping easily at night. And then there's this from the Daily Huddle. Bitcoin to diverge from stock market on its way to $100,000. Bloomberg commodity strategist. So there you go. I was right. It was Bloomberg. Bloomberg's senior commodity strategist thinks that the Federal Reserve's planned interest rate hikes could help propel Bitcoin to new all-time highs. In a new interview, analyst Mike McGlone discusses how the perfect storm of geopolitical tensions, soaring oil prices, and domestic monetary policies are setting the stage for a major economic recession. And here's a quote. "This is the most significant spark for recession I've ever seen. I've never seen anything this severe. The Fed's tightening, the stock market's already corrected 10%, 15%. And the Fed, the market's still priced for 625 basis points hikes in the next year. When this happened in 2018, when the market already dropped 15% or so, rates were hiked 4 times. It's lose-lose for risk assets, which is where Bitcoin fits into that space," end quote. Now, the analyst says that in the wake of markets selling off in most asset classes, the fact Bitcoin is dropping less than the NASDAQ could be a sign that Bitcoin is separating from the pack. And so, folks, let more time pass. I'm not saying I'm 100% sold on this. I am saying I find the concept very fascinating. I think it's plausible that this will occur potentially at some point in the future. I'm not saying for sure this is the sign, but I want to pay attention to this. Why? Because that would impact investing strategy, obviously, right? It could heavily invest what people would want to do and how they treat their assets. So it's worth watching this. So whether or not it's happening now, open to debate. But look at what's being posited here by Mike McGlone. Take a look at this quote. "When you see the stock market dropping 1%, 2%, 3%, Bitcoin will drop." Pause. So look, he's acknowledging the tie, like I've been saying forever, between equities and crypto. There's a correlation. It moves to different degrees. I was talking about this, I think, literally yesterday. But anyway, so check this quote out again. "When you see the stock market dropping 1%, 2%, 3%, Bitcoin will drop. But the bottom line is, it's already showing divergent strength. Just look at Bitcoin on the year. I see Bitcoin's down 15%. The NASDAQ's down 17%. That's significant because Bitcoin typically trades about 3 to 4 times the volatility of the NASDAQ. Bitcoin should be down about 3 times the NASDAQ." End quote. So it's worth watching. Look, and again, I've heard, like I said at the outset of the video, I've heard all sorts of short-term, or claims of short-term price action being an indication Bitcoin's breaking away. I've always been skeptical of that, and so I retain my skepticism in general, but I still want to watch for this. And isn't that fascinating? Because this environment that we're in, Bitcoin hasn't been tested in an environment like this. So Bitcoin's never been fully tested in that way in terms of what's going to happen in terms of market price. What will the crazy, irrational retail speculators do when times like this arise? Well, we're finding out. It is interesting to see the degree to which Bitcoin is down versus the NASDAQ. So we'll keep watching it. But anyway, big picture, could not be more thrilled to be in crypto, not scared in the least. Really looking forward to XRP blasting off, which I think is a practical certainty, but we'll see. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.